What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise podcast. Today, we'll have picks against the spread. We got to get that going since we already had one game start, but when you make your pick, don't cheat. We're going to talk about Damian Lillard's past 3 games and his crazy, insane numbers, and we'll basically just answer chat. We don't have a whole lot planned for today, and we'll just take this live stream where the chat takes it near the end. So it'll probably be a little shorter live stream, maybe 40 minutes or so, and then we'll be back Wednesday. Hopefully, maybe some trade rumors to talk about Wednesday or something like that. But first, before we get into picks against the spread, Patreon. I haven't plugged this in a while, but you can guest on our live streams if you donate to us on Patreon. There's a link in the description below with more information on that. But $10 a month will get you a once-a-month appearance on a post-game show or one of these podcasts. We've already done one of those with Eric Kleiser. That was a lot of fun. Look forward to possibly doing it with more of you guys. So it's in the description. And shout out to all my current patrons that are right there on the screen. So let's get into picks against the spread. I'm struggling on this, man. Like I don't think I've gone above 500 for a day in like 7-8 times we've done this. Like, I'm constantly 4-7, 3-7, 5-9. Like that's all I can get. But I'm stupid, so I'm in a slump. But I suggested that we bet eating a blazing wing on pace against the spread on a Friday, and yeah, look who's eating a blazing wing. I went 4-7. Eric went 6-5. So I'm gonna have to do that. Gonna try and do it in the next week because I have to have somebody videotape it as well. And I'll get that to you. I'm gonna have a video of it. I'll post it on Twitter and I'll post it on the live stream. So I'm not looking forward to that, honestly, but I'm not gonna draw that out. First chance I get to do it, I'm gonna do it. Get that over with. I hate spicy stuff, so that's gonna suck, man.
And shout out to chat. Chat has now passed you, Tori.
I know. I'm so bad that chat's passed me. It's tragic. But yeah. So we'll let's get into the games. First game we got, and I don't have the fancy graphics or anything, or I don't have the transition slides or anything today. But anyway, we'll roll on with Detroit. Playing in Detroit against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Detroit is favored by 7 points, and I'm taking the Detroit Pistons. I flipped a coin for this. My luck has been so bad that now I'm relying on luck, if that makes sense. So maybe my luck will change, but I flipped a coin for a couple of these. I flipped a coin for this one because I didn't know who to pick, and I'm going with the Pistons.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Pistons. A couple of crappy teams here, but Pistons have a little bit more firepower, I think, so... once again, them playing at home, even though they have a crappy home record, Cavs don't have a great road record either, so I'll go with the Pistons.
Alrighty, next one. We got Miami playing against their interstate rival. They're going up against the Miami Heat. No, I said Miami going up against Orlando Magic. There we go. That's what I meant to say. The spread is 5.5 points on this one. I'm doubling down on the Heat. Miami screwed me over because that was the one pick that we had different. We doubled down on different teams. That's why there was a 2 games difference. But I had Orlando beating Boston, who was playing without multiple players. And Orlando had a 16-point lead at one point, and then they blew it at home. And let the Celtics come back, and that's what screwed me over. So now I'm doubling down against the Magic. I honestly don't think I've gotten one of these double down picks right all season long. Like I'm cursed on it. I don't know why I came up with that idea, but that's really made me fall behind Eric because I keep losing these. He's doing pretty well on these, so it's very rough, man. Very rough with these double downs. But I'm rolling with the Heat and doubling down on them. Hopefully, I can get this one.
I am also going with the Heat. Only 5.5 point spread. I thought that was a little low on this one, so yeah, I'll take the Heat.
Alrighty. Our next game. Hopefully you can keep up with chat.
Yeah, there's only like 3 people voting, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty chill right now. So next game we got the Bulls going up against the Spurs. Chicago's favored by 1.5 points. LaMarcus Aldridge isn't playing. I almost doubled down on this game, but I'm taking the Spurs. The Bulls suck. The Bulls have been playing bad. They haven't been good at home. The Spurs still have DeRozan, Popovich, as the coach, and he's definitely a much better coach than Boylan. They still have some talent there in San Antonio, so I'm taking the Spurs there.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Spurs. Don't trust Chicago. They're too up and down.
Mario Hezonja finally made it back to a live stream, the Mario Hezonja burner.
Except how you holding up, Mario? He seemed to take that pretty hard yesterday.
Yeah, lots of players did, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, third to last game? Second.
Yeah, there's three more. There's three more.
See, I can't even count to 6. All right. Next game, we got OKC. Playing in OKC. They're without Chris Paul. They're going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks are favored by 4.5 points. I'm rolling with the Mavericks for this game. I flipped a coin for this game. This was a hard game to pick. I'm rolling with the with the Mavericks on this.
Yeah, I originally picked the Thunder. I was thinking about changing it after I saw Chris Paul was out tonight due to grieving. But I decided to just stick with them because I was hoping, Shai or one of their other guards steps it up.
It's nice that we have a different pick on one of these games because the other 5 games, we doubled down on different teams, but everything else has been the same. So second to last game. I'm basically foreshadowing your pick with that, but whatever. Second to last game. I didn't change the spread in the graphic on this. I literally just realized that. Whoops. But what's the spread on this game, Eric?
It's 3.
Okay, so
for Minnesota.
Minnesota is favored by 3.
Not Dallas. Dallas is not playing this.
Yeah. Sacramento is playing in Minnesota, and Dallas is favored by 4. So Minnesota's favored by 3 points. I'm still rolling with Minnesota. They have Karl-Anthony Towns back. The Kings have been horrible lately. Betting for the Kings has not been a smart idea lately, so I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to bet for the Timberwolves here, and probably get screwed, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to go Minnesota as well, and this is my double down game. I just have a good feeling about the Timberwolves tonight, even though they've really been bad lately, but the Kings have as well. So, just going to go with the Wolves.
Yep. So, anyway, last game we got. This is in Salt Lake City. The Jazz are taking on the Rockets. Actually, we had a different pick for this game. I think maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I also didn't fix Dallas on this. If you guys, I fixed the number, but I didn't fix the team. So obviously I'm struggling with these graphics. I hadn't made mistakes like all season long with these, so I had a pretty good track record until today. But Utah is favored by 13.5 in Utah. Houston is playing without James Harden and Russell Westbrook. So they're beat up, but 13.5 is a big spread. I think they might keep it closer than that. I'm rolling with the Rockets on this one.
I am taking Utah. It's a lot of points, but against a Hardenless and Westbrookless Rockets team, they should cruise to a victory.
Yeah, I just think they'll end up letting up. That's what's happened with a lot of big point spreads lately. Teams have let up. Let up and let teams cut it to like 10 at the end of the game, and I've gotten screwed over on games like that. So I'm thinking that might happen with this game. That's where I'm rolling with the Rockets. We'll see how I do. Hopefully I can beat Eric for a day. Hopefully I can get back above 500 for a day for once, because it's been a major struggle. So anyway, that's picks against the spread.
Should we let First P Last JL?
We got to let.
Just double down.
Yeah,
he's saying Jazz double down.
Jazz double down. All right. There we go. First P Last JL. Yeah, he hasn't done it yet, and he donated that $100 donation back.
But we have 2 games that had the same amount of votes.
Which games were that?
So OKC Dallas was 2-2. If you've already voted, don't vote again. But Dallas is favored by 4.5, so I need one more vote on either Dallas or OKC at home getting 4.5 points.
Tiebreaker is OKC for that if nobody else votes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, 17 Snowstorm.
All right, they're saying Dallas. All right.
Okay. And then Sacramento, Minnesota was also tied. Minnesota was favored by 3 in that one.
Okay.
Hazonia says Minnesota.
Alrighty. No coin flips needed. Okay. Alrighty.
Minnesota. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you, chat.
Awesome. All right. So, player of the week voting. Uh, it's kind of obvious that Damian
It's
Lillard
like,
was going to win player of the week.
yeah, biggest no doubter there.
Just look at those stats, man. Just look at these stats right here, dude. Dame averaged
It's amazing
almost
seeing that.
53 points per game, over 9 assists per game, and over 7 rebounds per game. You'd think he had a triple-double in there since he's almost averaging a triple-double. Still has yet to get a triple-double in his career, but it's just funny looking at Siakam's numbers and then looking at Dame's numbers, and oh my goodness, man, this might have been the best week of any player this season. Because I can't remember seeing numbers like that. Maybe Harden had something similar, but
I'm trying to remember what Harden had the week Melo won it, but he only played 2 games instead of 3, so he didn't qualify.
yeah, and it wasn't like
I want to say he had something similar, but
over 2 games, that's not as impressive.
Yeah,
Dame's doing this over 3 games. Yeah, that's
exactly.
insane. So I just wanted to talk about like his season stats, man, because the past 3 games or so they've risen a ton, and now his stats are like really, really impressive. Right now he's averaging 28.8 points per game, 7.7 assists per game. That's by far a career high in both categories. His true shooting percentage is a career high 61.9%. The next closest he had was 59.4%. He also leads the league in offensive win shares right now. Despite Portland not winning many games, he's leading the league in that category. So offensively, this is by far his best season as a Blazer, the best season of his career, maybe the best season a Blazer has ever had in terms of the offensive end. We got into that argument a little bit on our post-game stream. I'm going to put out a Twitter poll and ask people if this season that Damian Lillard is having up to this point is the best statistical season of any Blazer of all time. Because I'm curious where the Blazer fan base lies on that. Because you got some people that were Clyde fans back in the day. You got some people like me that didn't really see Clyde play. So they're not like, big Clyde fans. I just want to see where the fan base lies on that. I'll put up like Clyde's best season statistically. I'll put up Dame's. It'll be interesting to see. I'll post that poll on Blazers Uprise's Twitter. That'll be at Blazers Uprise. So you guys can go participate in that if you want to make your voice be heard. But yeah, so what do you think? Like, I don't know. Like the big difference with me with Dame is just like his 3-point shot is falling. Like everything is throwing up, man. Like it was weird at the end of I think it was at the end of the first quarter. Maybe it was at the end of the second. I'm not sure. But there was a play where he ISO'd against Aaron Holiday, and he was trying to get the 2-for-1, and I just like Dame's gonna score on him, and Dame knows he's gonna score on him. Dame knows he'll be able. Like I just knew he was gonna get off a step back 3 that he's comfortable with and pull it off, and it would be a shot that like most other people wouldn't be comfortable with. But it's Damian Lillard, and he's killing it right now. And then he pulled out that little side step back going to his right, which is an insanely tough shot, and he makes it look a lot easier than it is. So other than his 3-point shooting though, like, what have you seen of him lately that he's doing better on?
Well, for one, I think it helps to have both a good finishing big, which I'm not saying Nurk wasn't, but Whiteside, I think for his career is about 10 percentage points better than field goal percentage wise. Mm-hmm. So just having that threat, he plays more around the basket, so it sucks the big guy down a little bit, so he has that one step to get to the rim. Mm-hmm. And it's just a different way because like Nurk, he scores with Nurk more off passes from Nurk. He doesn't really have to exert as much energy to score, so it's just a different style. I'm not saying one is better than the other. They're both really good. Also having the threat of Melo and Melo getting double teamed sometimes for some reason still. I think that helps just take some attention off of him. And then the main thing is he's just lights out from 30 feet and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some stat last night that he's shooting like 42% from 30 to 35 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's insane.
yeah, 42%. And then I want to say between 35 and 38 feet, he's like over 50%,
That's
which,
honestly insane. That's
yeah,
honestly insane. I mean, like, and he's been bearing a ton of them these past 3 games, man. And that's the thing. When you can pull up from that distance off the dribble too, and like off a pick and roll, you can run pick and roll that high, and the defense has to get out there at this point, and it just stretches the defense out so much. It's so tough for a defense to guard a shooter off a pick and roll from 35 feet and a guy who can
yeah.
also distribute.
Well, because he's basically the defender has to guard him like a couple feet past half court,
Mm-hmm.
and he's done that at the last few games where he just pulls up like in rhythm, off the dribble from like 40 feet, and it's like ridiculous. But yeah, if you play up that far, then he can get by you, and he's getting. He either has you behind him when he pulls up, so he draws a lot of fouls that way, or he can just get to the rim. And so you can't really play fully up on him at that range, but if he's hitting over 40% from that deep, like there's nothing really you can do to stop him. And it was interesting at the end of the last game because Aaron Holiday was just like glued on him the whole time, like trying to deny him from even getting the ball. Dame still was able to score sometimes. Like you said, if he gets the ball, you can tell he's scoring. But yeah, the biggest difference is he's just making some of these shots like incredible difficulty on these attempts, and it's still going in.
Yeah, it's like we've seen him hit some difficult threes throughout his career, and especially like in a hot stretch like this, but still, like,
Yeah.
even though we've seen it many times, it's still super impressive to me. Somebody like pulling up, going to his right, pulling up from 32 feet with a hand in his face. Like, he had that three he had before the end of the first quarter last night where he pulled up going to his left, and the big man was like right there, and the way he followed through wasn't even normal. Like, he followed through like up and over the big, you know what I mean? Like, followed through at a much higher release point and follow through because he was about to get blocked, and he like fell to the side when he was like releasing the ball. You know what I mean? It's just like stuff like that. It somehow still goes in, nothing but net, like literally perfect, and it just boggles my mind, some of the things he does. And honestly, I always would get frustrated with watching Steph Curry because it was like, damn, dude, like, how do you guard that? You know, it's
Right.
just the way he stretched out the defense, the way he brought the defense out on him, and then would use it against the defense. And if the defense didn't come out, he'd make them pay. But watching Dame lately, man, it's exactly like that with Dame right now.
Yeah.
And I expect, you know, if he keeps playing like this, defenses are going to have to sell out on him even more because he's dropping over 50 a game the last 3 games. He's dropping 45 a game over the last 5. Like, I wonder if defenses are going to start trying to run him off the three-point line even more, or like what that's going to look like. But it's starting to look like the defense that was played against Curry in his prime.
Look how many open threes we got last night because of that from other people too. But the weirdest feeling to me is, so Dame shoots these like off balance 35-foot shots, right?
Yeah.
And it's like this weird feeling between, oh my goodness, he did it again. Like, he made that shot again. Like, he's making it seem like effortless almost.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, if he misses, you're like, whoa, he missed a shot. Like, but it's like, these are like almost, I'm not saying these are bad shots, but they are like crazy if you were just going into a game thinking you're going to shoot these kind of shots throughout the game, like game planning for it. So like, it's hard to defend because you're not really expecting him to shoot a high percentage on these shots. So yeah, it's like, if he misses, you're like, oh man, he missed that one. Like, it's so uncommon for him to miss right now it's just like a weird feeling when it's that difficult of a shot that you think it's going in every time.
Yeah. I mean, like, I honestly sit there and wonder, it's like, how does this dude see the game to have the confidence and have the ability to pull up like with 2 defenders right next to him on the move. Sometimes he gets bumped from 30 feet and to hit that. Like, I've played the game, we've both played the game, but like mentally to process like that, like, okay, I'm gonna dribble right and just, oh, I barely have enough room. All right, I'm pulling from here. You're 30 feet away from the rim, running into the shot. Like, I just don't. the mentality, you know what I mean? Like I saw somebody say, I think it was on Twitter or something. Dame had Mamba mentality tonight. He dropped 50 for Kobe. He had Mamba mentality, but honestly, like, dude, he's a stone cold like assassin, man. Like, it takes so much confidence to be able to even attempt some of the shots that he attempts, let alone make them. It's just like, I'm in awe of, like, not only his ability but his just mentality that he's playing with right now.
And you've been in a groove where, like, you feel like every shot you throw, if it's going to go in, no matter how awkward the angle is or what you do, you just feel like it's going to go in. And that's such an awesome feeling as a basketball player. But I can't imagine doing that not only on NBA threes, but like 5 feet behind the NBA 3-point line on top of that, and have that feeling and just know that it's going in every time.
That would make things so easy for me in my rec league, man. That would be like, we play on a little bit like shorter court, so half court's only like 10 feet behind like a high school 3-point line, maybe like 15 feet. I don't know. Like, I'd be pulling up from behind half court, like, easy. I wish I could do that. That'd be hella fun. But yeah, I mean, that, dude, I honestly don't think fans that haven't been on an NBA court or haven't really like thought about it, I don't think they realize how long these 3-point shots are. They are so long, man. They're so deep. And I feel like I've always had this feeling where people kind of confuse the high school 3-point line with the NBA 3-point line. Like, they know the NBA 3-point line is longer, but in terms of just watching the game, it's like, oh, that's a 3-pointer. Oh, he's 2 feet behind the 3-point line. And then they go out on a court and like, oh, I'm 2 feet behind the 3-point line. You know what I mean? I feel like, just it's different seeing it on the TV and then going out there on a court and like standing at that spot and realizing how long that is. And then the body control too has been super impressive with him, man, because when you're sidestepping, when you're running to the side, it's really hard to like keep your shoulders aligned. It's really easy to kind of like fall out of alignment, just because you're running to the side. A lot of times if you're going to the right, you're trying to turn your shoulder through to get square. And dude, like, just the body control he has on some of these shots, not just lay-ins, but his 3-point shots is impressive as well.
And he's also, like, he plays better when he's tipped off. And he's been, it's like weird too to think about is how he hasn't gotten many calls in these games. I mean, he's shot a decent amount of free throws, but like going to the rim, he's not getting the hits on the head called on him. And
yeah, so it's not Harden type of 50-point games. It's a lot more respectable than that.
I think I read somewhere that he took the least amount of shots to get 50 points ever. Only 23 shots. Yeah, that is impressive. I don't know if that's true or not, but only 23 shots to get 50 points.
I could see it, man. Imagine if he went Harden and shot 35. You'd have 70. Like,
yeah,
that's insane.
And Henry M's asking about the ball movement. Isn't that more important for like success than Dame going crazy?
They're both very important, I think.
But I mean, look what happens when teams are focused on Dame, and then you have ball movement on top of that. Like last night was beautiful to watch on offense, at least. Like, we're getting open shots almost every possession in the second half when we move the ball, and it's something we've been talking about all year. And if you mix in that ball movement with Dame going crazy, like, this team could make a run still.
Yeah. I mean, we're 8 games behind the 7th seed, which sucks. I wish the Thunder weren't doing so well, but I mean, maybe we could get the 8th seed and make a run against the Lakers if we are playing great basketball. I mean, this team has the chance to be the best team we've ever had in the playoffs. Like the best roster construction and possibly playing the best style basketball we've ever had in the playoffs. Problem is, it would probably be as an 8th seed. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was encouraging seeing the ball movement last night. Just there were so many good plays that they had been non-existent earlier this season. There's so many plays where it was like, wow, look at that ball move. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've wanted all season. I just hope that they can turn it into more. I hope that they can, if Dame's struggling, they can still move the ball well. I don't know how many assists they had last night, but I'm assuming they had.
The Blazers, it was 27 or 28 without
Yeah,
looking at them.
and with Dame pulling up off a pick and roll like on a ton of possessions,
Yeah.
that it was 27. That's impressive, So CJ had 5 assists. He kind of helped with the ball movement, but like Ariza, Carmelo, they were making swing passes. They were pump faking and getting into the paint and kicking. Dame was doing that. Gary Trent Jr. even had 3 assists. So just overall, very good ball movement last night. Last night was a really pretty game to watch, aesthetically pleasing. Would like to tighten up the defense. I feel like last night should have been a 30-point win instead of a 10-point win if we just defend better. But
So Henry's asking, put your coach's hat on and tell us how you get CJ to get more assists. Do you want to take that or you want me to start?
Go ahead, you got it.
So I've been saying this for like 3 years now. He has the ability every time he drives and gets to his mid-range that he sucks in at least 2 guys, if not 3 sometimes, for the defenders. And if he does that, we talked about this on the stream last night, passing from inside out to get a 3 is so much better because you're facing the basket already. You don't have to turn it all. You just catch and shoot. And so CJ driving to the middle, if he has shooters in the corners and one person up top, he's got multiple avenues to pass out if whoever comes to double team him or whatever defense sucks in a little too far. So we can get open 3s that way. Or if the big comes at him, he can just dump it off to Whiteside or whoever's playing center for a lay-in or dunk. So I think he just needs to have that mindset where he dribbles to the free throw line area thinking pass first versus shot first. And that's the only really way to get him to have a ton of assists. But yeah, it's tough to haul in a player or like corral in a player like that too, because he's such a good scorer and he has such unique ways he can get shots up that he always feels like he's open even if he's not. So
Yeah.
But I just wish he had more of a playmaking mentality versus a scoring mentality.
Yeah. I think as a coaching staff, you'd watch film with him and show him some passes that he missed and try and do that enough where he starts to see these passes on the court or starts to realize these passing opportunities when they're there, when he's in the game. I think that's something they could do. Hold him accountable in practice for just making the right play, taking the right shot, or making the right pass. But he hasn't been as bad this year. You know what I mean? So I wish that it would be better. But if you're talking about a score first guard who's getting 4 assists per game, that's not horrible. Your score first shooting guard, gunner shooting guard. That's not horrible. The biggest problem with me was he would bog down the offense and he would stop the ball and he would hold the ball and dribble it for way too long. And I actually think that's been noticeably improved since the start of the season. The start of the season, he was doing a really bad job of that. He was holding the ball. He was taking 10, 12 dribbles, and he still has his moments, and every now and then he'll still have his games where he does that constantly, but I think for the most part, overall, that has improved, and he just plays within the flow of the offense a little bit more, and that's in a season where there has been no flow to the offense, so I think CJ has been better this year.
Yeah, there was a couple of possessions last night where the only thing I don't like about CJ is when he dribbles up and you can tell right from the beginning that he's not going to pass on a possession, and the teammates pick up on that too, and it's like he's just going to shoot no matter what happens, and I just wish he would cut that completely out of his game unless he tries that and it's open, but if it's not open you shouldn't still shoot it. But yeah, he's greatly reduced that so far this year. His assist percentage numbers are a little better than they've been the last couple seasons. So is that continues to rise, I think this team will be in a much better position. And it helps also to have like Ariza and Melo now instead of Bazemore and those kind of guys out there with him.
Yeah, Bazemore I think was hurting the flow of our offense a bit more than we realized, and having Ariza is kind of showing us what the difference is between Bazemore and a player like Ariza. So he's Ariza's been fun to watch, man. I'm looking forward to watching more of him. I'm looking forward to him playing a few more games in a Blazers uniform. But overall, last night was surprisingly pleasant. You just look at all these games though that we lost that we should have won. There's 6 or 7 of them that we had no business losing, and if we were 27-20 right now, we'd be, if we were 26-21 right now, and took care of, some of these games we had no business losing, we'd be 2 games back of 7th, 3 games back of 6th, 7 games back of 2nd. You know what I mean? Like, instead we're 8 games back of 7th because we lost way too many games that we shouldn't have lost because we didn't defend, we didn't move the ball, we didn't do basic stuff. So that's why this season has been so frustrating. And the thing is, our schedule sets up after this next 7-game stretch. Our schedule is probably one of the easiest in the NBA, starting like February 11th. I've said that before, and that's when we're going to get healthier too. Like that. It's just that we should be like we should be in 8th place, right behind 7th place right now, and in contention for like any seed 2 through 8 with like a strong post All-Star break run. And we could have set ourselves up for a super strong post All-Star break run if we took care of games like the game we lost to the Cavs when they didn't have Kevin Love, a couple games we lost to the Pelicans, we lost I'm blanking on some. We lost to the Warriors when they didn't have Russell, Thompson, Curry, Draymond Green. We lost to them in Golden State at the start of the season. We lost to Brooklyn when Dame scored 60. We lost to the 76ers when we botched a final defensive possession in the last 2 seconds and gave up a wide open 3 for them to win, when we should have just switched screens and been fine. We lost
Suns at home.
We lost to the Suns at home, which is kind of an inexcusable loss. Some of these, you're going to lose over the course of the season. There's just too many, and I know I'm missing a couple. There's been a lot of games that, we lost to the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. That was a game we should have won. You know what I mean? Like, I got blown out. So there's just a lot of games, man. There's a lot of games that we should not have lost. And obviously you're going to have letdowns in a season, but there's way too many of them. And if we just picked up 4 or 5 of them, we'd be talking about possibly getting home court advantage. You know what I mean? That's the difference. That's why every game matters. Even though it's an 82-game season, that's why every single game matters. And it's tough at this point. Got excited over the ball movement last night. Dame's play has been exciting. And, I want to get excited over the rest of the season. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline. Nurkic comes back. Collins will come back later. We'll get Labissiere back where we don't have to play Swanigan at backup center. That'll be kind of nice. There's things to get excited for. I just wish it was setting up for a run where we were making a run at, a home court advantage or something like that. It's just a shame that it's not. Especially in a 50th anniversary season 2. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, we talked a lot in the beginning of the season about just grinding out some of those wins, and it didn't matter how ugly it was as long as you got the wins and stuck around 500, and then we just got too far under 500 to make a huge run, I think. Now our only hope is if a team just completely bottoms out and one of the top 6 or 7 seeds has just it's happened before, or a big injury.
Or maybe the Jazz get the 1 seed. Because I still think we could compete against them, man. I know they're 32-13, but...
So a lot of people are thinking it's going to be... Kobe's death is going to push LeBron to have this, mega win one for Kobe season.
Yeah, but I know he plays for the Lakers, and that's kind of what that's behind. But there's so many players that were, friends with Kobe that Kobe, was friends with, you know what I mean? I don't feel like it's just, LeBron has to go win one for Kobe. I feel like there's a lot of players that are going to try and go win one for Kobe or whatever, like Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, there's, he was connected to the entire NBA. So I had to time out Chief and Blazers because he's in here calling me names that I can't repeat on air.
What?
That were held for
She,
review. Yeah.
Chiefin, come on, man.
Yeah. But yeah.
So
So,
people are, oh god.
but he was like, chill, man. Lakers are gonna win, bro. LeBron's gonna win for Kobe. With like some choice language in there. Like, come on, man. But yeah, no, I don't think it's it's not a foregone conclusion at all. Like people were saying,
Yeah.
oh, Lakers for sure gonna win. LeBron's gonna go play the best basketball of his career. He's just going to decide to or be like inspired to. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just
They have a really bad record against the top teams this year in both conferences. So
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like I don't know. We've seen like obviously nothing to this magnitude, but we've seen storylines that like seemed obvious that they would play out in the past in sports, and then they didn't. You know what I mean? Because sports is still sports. Still got to wait and see what happens out there on the basketball court. And I don't think they're not Golden State Warriors of last year. Good. They're not. They don't have the talent of having a KD, a Steph, a Clay, and a Draymond, and a Boogie Cousins. You know what I mean? Like they're not like that team. So I mean, obviously that team got hurt and lost anyway. So that's what I'm saying is don't make any premature conclusions on this season.
yeah, I think we both need a solid trade that brings in someone the level of Hood or Cantor from last year just to add to what we have right now. And then we need the bigs to be healthy. And anything can happen from there. But even if those both happen, we'd still have to fight off like 5 teams to get the 8th seed. So I still have faith that we can make the playoffs and stuff. I just don't know how good we're going to be once we get there.
Yeah. I don't like, man. I don't like people that just say, yeah, Lakers are going to win. Watch it happen. Like, we're Blazer fans, right? Don't sit here like, well, Lakers are going to win. Lakers, we'll watch it. Oh, you don't think so? Watch it happen. It's going to happen. Like, no, man. I'm not trying to have that tenor and that tone to at least my stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and say the Lakers are gonna win a championship. I'm still rooting against the Lakers, man. I mean, it's basketball. Like, it's still a competition. Players are still competitive. Nobody's gonna lay down and lay over. Kobe wouldn't want that anyway.
And all the conspiracy theorists out there, why haven't the Lakers made the playoffs the last 6 years if the NBA wants them to,
exactly,
to win?
Man.
And
it's always how the NBA loves the Lakers. Yeah, they've been
why
out
do
of
the
playoffs.
Knicks suck every year if the NBA was trying to help them win?
Yeah. So I don't.
People's mix doesn't want to see the Blazers if they're healthy in the playoffs.
I mean, it'd be a tougher team than OKC, I think, than maybe even Houston. Houston has players that always struggle in the playoffs and choke in the playoffs. I mean, Portland could be the best 8 seed in years. I mean, I still think, obviously would be a very, very hard series to win. But what a fun series that would be to win, though. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on where things go.
It's you and I both wanted us to win that last game, so we played OKC and had the higher seed, so we had an easier run if we did win in the first round to making it further. And it's kind of the same feeling I had, like, F OKC, like I wanted to beat them. Like, how satisfying was that to beat Paul George and Russell Westbrook and send them home in the playoffs?
Whole different thing between that and Lakers as a 1 seed with AD
I'm not
LeBron.
I'm not saying that, but just like if you happen to pull off the 8 versus 1 seed and it was against the Lakers, that would be one of the most satisfying series in the history of the Blazers. Even if they lost in the next round, that would still be like. That would make my season for me.
Yeah. Chief and Blazer says, I just think they're going to be motivated to win, bro. Everybody's going to be motivated to win. You know what I mean? Nobody's not motivated to go out there and play 100% and go win a championship. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway. And
it'll be interesting to see what moves teams make over the next
yeah, we'll have to see what happens at the trade deadline, man. I'm waiting for that. Can't wait for it. I want to see what goes down.
Earlier, people were asking about Ariza's defense, how it's been. I think he's done fairly well on defense so far. Um, yeah, I like what he's bringing on the defensive end.
Yeah.
It has a really, I mean, we're still a crappy defense overall because of our strategies and philosophies on defense, but on ball defense, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. So I just got an email. I will be able to do that trade deadline live stream. I will be able to get my jury service
Woohoo!
rescheduled. I don't want to have to worry about that while planning for the live stream. So
Yeah.
I was given. I'm gonna have to figure out when it would be sometime in March. But I have to figure out when I get that rescheduled too. But yeah, so any of those who don't know, I had jury service scheduled for the week of February 3rd, which would be like February 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Could have been any one of those days in the morning. And I want to do trade deadline stuff, trade deadline stream on the 6th of February, and cover all the trade action and all that stuff going down. I was worried that I was going to be called into jury duty. I tweeted that out, and people were like, oh, just ignore it. Just ignore it. I'm like, that's a misdemeanor, man. I'm not trying to risk a misdemeanor, man. Like, they're like, oh, I always ignore it. Nothing happens. It's like, you're lucky then, because if you got called in and didn't report, you'd be charged with a misdemeanor. Like, I wasn't going to do that, but so I will be able to get it rescheduled. So I'm very happy about that. So now we can go it's a full go for the trade deadline stream. I just pulled up my email and just saw it, so that just made me happy.
People's Mix, he did not witness something in the U.S. You get called to serve on jury duties every once in a while randomly. And so, yeah, you have to sit in on like trials and decide if the person is guilty or not guilty and stuff. But yeah, it's very rare, even if you get a jury summons, that you actually get on a jury and have to be a part of it. But yeah.
Yep. It's for non-biased parties. Says Owen Hart, which is a good way to put it. So yeah, we'll okay, that makes me happy. That's some stress off my shoulders. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that's in a week and a half, guys. Week and a half. We've kind of been counting down the days, and we'll keep you covered with we'll react to different trades, our trade alert thumbnails. That's how you know a trade has gone down. I like the theme of those thumbnails. I've enjoyed making those thumbnails. So we'll cover any trades leading up to the deadline. We'll cover the trade talk. Need to come out with some trade idea videos. Do you have a trade talk video coming up soon, or?
Well, I had one I was working on, but the Willie Cauley-Stein trade messed it all up.
See, hey, dude, now you know that's something that happens. That's something that's happened to me multiple times in the past. I made a Carmelo Should Come to Portland video 2 years ago, and then right when I was almost done editing it, and it was like a longish video. It took like 2.5 hours to edit. Then you got traded to OKC. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's something that happens. So it's always rough when that happens, but yeah, welcome to the grind.
Well, it was like the main focus of it was after the last trade, how like different scenarios where we could completely get out of the tax, and almost all of them depended on Dallas using that big trade exception to just take a player for free and not have it come back to Portland. So it kind of messed it all up when they used part of that for a center, and then you don't know if they'd still be willing to use more of that for a big man. So yeah, all got screwed up. I could still do there's several trades where we take back like 22 million and only 27 goes out or whatever, but it wouldn't fully get us under the luxury tax.
Yeah, so I'll have some trade ideas. I'm hopping on that action as well. Nice. Tommy Thompson said Woj says that he thinks trades will just be around the edges kind of trades, and we kind of know that. You know, I mean, like the most well-known publicly available trade target outside of like Andre Drummond and Kevin Love is Robert Covington. But I bring up Andre Drummond and Kevin Love because it's known that Andre Drummond is being shopped. We'll see if he lands somewhere. That would be interesting, and that would be a big domino to fall. And then Kevin Love, it's been reported that there's optimism that Cleveland will trade him before the trade deadline, so it'll be interesting to see where he falls because there's no like one obvious suitor there. You know, there's a lot of intrigue in this trade deadline, even though there's not going to be like I don't think like a Porzingis or a There's not going to be like a huge name or like multiple huge names. Tobias Harris got traded last year, but then again, like Tobias Harris was out of the blue, Porzingis was out of the blue. The thing is with those trades is the Knicks and the Clippers were trying to shed money for free agency in 2019. The Clippers, obviously, that worked out. They got Kawhi and Paul George. But the thing is with the 2020 free agency period, it's not a strong one. There's not many free agents available, so I don't see people trying to shed money for expiring contracts. It'll just be interesting to see how it plays out. There's always stuff that we don't see coming. It'll be interesting to talk about role players getting traded, especially since trades will be happening like that. I assume, maybe it's not that heavy, but there will be multiple things happening and multiple different rumors that we can cover. So it should be an entertaining trade deadline stream. I'll have graphics for you guys. I'll have like a breaking news graphic or like a trade alert graphic. Also, let me end with this. If you want to help me create graphics during live streams, just whenever you're available, let me know, because I want to, for that trade deadline stream, I want to create graphics like along the bottom to say like so-and-so has been traded to so-and-so, but like while I'm breaking it down, it's hard to create the graphic. So if anybody has like a little bit of familiarity with that, I can create like a template and you guys could help me create graphics during that trade live stream. And then basically you could DM them to me on Twitter. I could download them and post them in the stream like that, and it could help us get graphics up for the stream. Could also be for post-game shows, player graphics like Yusuf Nurkic return, and then his stat line below that title or something. I don't know. Like we could create graphics and do more graphically for the show if there's somebody out there willing to help me. So.
And for the record, Tommy Thompson, I do know that there are ways to duck the tax still without involving Dallas, using multiple teams and stuff like that. The problem is all the realistic trade options, several of them are on teams that are near or close enough to the luxury tax where if we made that trade with them and they took on extra salary, that they would go into the tax. So I doubt any team would want to do that in any of those scenarios. And then I'm just having trouble coming up with a lot of realistic ones that work for all three teams involved money-wise.
Yeah, we'll see what you come up with. I'll come up with my own. We'll see if, I don't know, maybe we might accidentally have one of the same, but I doubt it. There's still some ideas out there. And
I'm not even convinced that they are trying to fully get under the luxury tax anymore. They might have been fine with the savings from the last.
Yeah, we've heard that they aren't looking to get under the luxury tax, so I'm not going to make that a huge priority.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this podcast. We'll catch you guys Wednesday. I still need to edit that mailbag. Stuff has kind of gotten in the way of that. Also, merch store. I've been working really hard with somebody to set up a merch store, and it's in the final stages of being set up. So once that's set up, we'll have Mellow hoodies go on sale for 3 days. Okay, only a 3-day sale. That'll be a limited edition sale. And then after that, I'll create a Blazers Uprise with our logo. I'll create a Blazers Uprise sweatshirt or t-shirt. And I can also do posters and stuff. So I might try and do some cool graphic design type posters that I'll make one a month and put it on sale. And you can do other accessories. So it's going to be a merch store. It's going to be cool. I look forward to putting that out there for you guys. Hopefully it's stuff that you guys can, enjoy and want. So you can rep Blazers Uprise. So anyway, I think that's everything out of the way that I needed to shout out to get you guys caught up to date on things. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you later. We'll catch you Wednesday with another live stream. We'll catch you with that podcast. We'll catch you with that post game. So as always, peace out. Go Blazers.